Hello there, Lynx here. Welcome to another episode of Katawa Shoujo. To be honest, I was planning to prepare bishoujo-style until the very end today, but for some reason, I don't even know if we'll be able to continue this, because for some reason the rest of the chapters, at least into the from the sixth one, are not translated into English. Like, what the heck? Why is it only Japanese language there, written Japanese language? I don't really understand. I'll try finding the resolution, the solution for it, but don't know how it will go. Anyway, Katawa Shoujo, let us continue. Even if I wasted like an hour already on the other one, which annoyed me. But yeah, hammering of a fist against the door feels like a nail being pounded into my head. Once, twice, 3 times. I let out long, annoyed breath and buried while pressing my eyelids shut, fervently hoping for whoever it is just to go away. I'm pretty damn awful. My face feels like it's cast out of lead. My arms feel heavy and I feel very queasy. It's been like this since I woke up half an hour ago, and I can't summon the energy to pick myself out of the bed. I actually was similar today. Well, in my case, I just slept incorrectly and my back hurt like hell when I woke up. Anyway, so this is what they call a hangover. Not in my case, but yeah. I wonder if perhaps this is the best treatment for teenagers who desperately want to try drinking us away to feel like an adult. Considering how unpleasant this is, it's not something I want to repeat. A series of thumbs rings out again, reverberating around the small room. I wish they'd just give up already. I have no intention of getting out of bed for them. Seconds pass, turning to minutes. Since no more knocks are coming from the door, whoever it was must have left. Thank goodness. Well, we know who it was, and yes, thank goodness. Looking to my clock, the time when I really should think about getting dressed and ready for class is approaching. I don't think I can manage it for... I hate cutting glass, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get much done at this rate. I can tell that I look like a mess without needing to look in the mirror to confirm it too. The morning rush is giving me enough time to stand outside the classroom for a little while without looking too suspicious. I hope that Muta doesn't ask any awkward questions about my not attending school yesterday. I was sick, that much is true. It's just reasons for it that I have to hide. Food poisoning. Confident I can get with tactical omission of certain truths, I stride into the classroom doing my best to appear normal. The instant I open the door and take a single step in, I can feel thousands of eyes looking at me. There is no way imagining this, they are not even making an attempt to hide it. My eyes take a quick sweep around the classroom and I spot Hanako. We make eye contact mentally before she looks down and stares very hard at her desk. Another proof that Hisao is a terrible liar. Did she spill the beans? No, but the way you act will. Muto may be okay as far as teachers go, but underage drinking on campus is not exactly something that would be taken lightly. I looked at him with some trepidation. Feeling better today? Yeah, thank you. No, sorry. He motions for me to take my seat. My legs feeling like sticks as they carry me there. This is going to be a long day. As soon as lunch bell rings, I'm on my way to Hanako's desk to ask her what's going on. Hanako, did you tell? She looks up at me and shakes her head. That's a big relief. Dude, come on, Hisao. If anyone were to tell, it would be you. Because you can't lie. Let's face it. That's the truth right now. I'm confident in what I'm saying that it is true. If anyone will gonna spill the beans about what's happened, it's going to be him. Anyway. It's just... Well, hello there, Hichan. It's nice to see you again today. Ugh. I grimaced and turned towards the unmistakable voice coming from behind me. That was way too a bit of tone of voice to feel comfortable, even from Misha. Her smile is nothing out of the usual. Shizune's fault is a very bad sign. Her being there is a very bad sign. Ever. The one she wears has become notched into my brain as her "I have got you 7 ways from Sunday" smile. What? Hi, you look happy. Not feeling well yesterday, Hichan? No, I wasn't. But I'm feeling better now at least. That's good to know, Hichan. Why do I get the feeling that she's leading me into a trap? You sound like you're not being completely serious. Oh no, Hichan! We're genuinely pleased that you're all better now! She's positively overflowing with happiness and creepy face expression. There is only one reason why she would be like this. Oh no. In fact, we were quite worried about you, after all. You, Hanako, and you were all absent from class on the same day. Yep, she's got us, except she is not. So for that, all I can do is sign defeat. Yeah, I guess you have your own theories about this. Could you just kinda not tell anyone? God damn it, Hisao! Why would you say something like this? Just say you have your own theories, whatever. It's a bit late for that, Hichan. I suppose she's right, considering the looks I got as I entered class. Still, things only seem to be at the level of vague suspicion rather than outright accusations, so we'll probably be fine. Hanak's face sinks a little further. Such tension is troublesome enough for me, let alone for her. Going back to Misha's reactions, I think they noticed this as well. The reason why we're giving you such a hard time is that you ignored us yesterday morning! I mean, if it depended on me, I would ignore them every single day, every single minute of this game. Yesterday morning, it takes a while to recollect what happened then, given the haze inducted by the generally awful state I was in at the time. Oh, right. The knocking. That was you too? It was! And you left us there for ages. Have we taken all the effort for coming to your dormitory early in the morning? Yeah, cool. I was having problem with a nosy, yeah. They're not buying it. I can't blame them. I don't care for. Shizune's head drops in resignation before she reaches into her pocket. Something white and yellow can be seen sticking out and she pulls it out. It turns out to be an envelope with very bright decorations on it. Since she points it towards me, I duly take it. This is what we tried so hard to give you, Hichan. You don't check your... I tune out the sound of Misha's voice. Oh, yes. As my eyes register what's written on the envelope. Hanako. I stare at them up for a moment, before suddenly remembering that there are people around me. Yikes. That's a very strange, somewhat invasive feeling about their expressions. I kind of want to be alone right now. Hanako. It's nothing, it's nothing. Thank you for bringing this, yeah, thank you, yeah. I should think so, after what we went through to get it out to you. Step back and say my goodbyes. Misha tragically pouts even as I go out the door, but Shizu and Hanako remain very visibly curious about my reaction. I hope they won't interrogate me on this later. The smell of the gardens is as always a very pleasant sensation. Some of the most visible signs of how well funded this school is, aside from its sheer size, are the expense and condition of the grounds. A good number of students can be seen eating lunch, chatting and playing on the bright green lawns. Even some of the staff is enjoying the summer here, keeping watch over the students and either walking along the long concrete paths. I'd never seen a sight like this in my home city. On excursions maybe, but certainly never in the school or anywhere near where I lived. Even the bench I sit on the road is warmer thanks to the summertime sun. Remind me of why I haven't worn the school blazer ever once yet. Considering this, the sunflowers and splashes of vibrant yellow coloring adorning the paper are quite appropriate for the time. If only the words written on it were as well. Here, I was thinking I'd managed to get over her, when this troublesome thing shows up. Her handwriting looks vaguely familiar at best, and only now that I see it again, I remember that she used to write in pink pen a lot. She was always very girly, for lack of a better term. Not gonna lie. There should be an ending. I mean, I don't necessarily want it, but there should be an ending where you actually end up with Iwanako. Anyway, but she was also quite fragile. I never knew if I liked this aspect of her or not, for with the arrival of this letter that question seems to have become largely moot. The letter begins with not much more than an update on the state of things going on in her life. My old class had a good start to the school year. Many are anxious about the exams and will be coming up in the future, etc. But it ends on a very personal, if brief note. It feels a bit like she wrote most of the letter just to try and soften the blow from the ending. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I liked you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you to not give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe we wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final, somehow. I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. Still, if you'd like to correspond with me, by all means write back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you are doing. I wish all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. And so that's that. Our relationship that never actually existed is over. Nice, neat and tidy, with no ambiguity. I haven't held onto any illusions that it could ever begin anew. The last time she visited me, neither of us said a thing. Except for the one what she said as she left for the last time. Goodbye. Be that as it may, this feels more final. The capstone on an experiment that both of us tried and failed at. A loud shout draws my eyes away from the letter. It's just some students horsing around with one of the teachers standing nearby coming over to talk to them. Are you okay? A tentative voice comes from my side. For a moment I assume it to be Hanako, but it's actually Yuko. Oh, hello Yuko. I thought you'd be in the library. She gives a cheerful smile, one quite fitting the atmosphere, and flourishes the empty wrapper of a roll in her hand. She must have someone else covering for her while she grabbed something to eat. It reminds me that I haven't had anything to eat yet. I don't feel hungry though, and skipping on one lunch won't hurt. Mind if I sit here? Sure, go ahead. I quickly slide the letter back into its envelope, slipping it inside my bag propped against the side of the bench. As Yuko takes a seat, she drops the wrapper into a bin beside us. Without much else to do, I lean back and take what enjoyment I can from the sun, silently reflecting on the letter. The lush lawns, the clear blue skies, everything looks so different from the way it did back then. Even the school's surroundings, from the hills on the woods around it, are completely opposite to the urban scenery I remember. Maybe this is what it's like to feel homesick. Then again, it's not an outright bad sensation. The feel of this area around Yamaku, while very different, it's also nice. I think I could get used to it. Hey Hisao. Yeah? You didn't answer my question from before. I wasn't going to say anything, but you still look troubled. If you don't want to say anything, it's okay. I might all. Sorry for asking something strange like that. I don't mind. It just. I got a letter from someone I knew before I came to Yamaku. It made me think about some things. I thought I'd managed to get over most of the problems that my accident caused, but now I'm not really so sure. I kinda wish I'd never seen it. I don't think that's good, Hisao. When my boyfriend left me, that bastard, he did so very suddenly and never let me know why. At first I was very depressed about it, but I decided to forgive him. You forgave him? Couldn't he at least have talked properly with you about it? He was always one of those people that found it difficult to come close to others. In the end, I said that I fell in love with him for a reason. He was a good person, and I think that if I had been in his position, I would probably have found it just as hard to try and talk to him. I don't really see the connection to the letter I got. I mean that... how should I put this? It must have been very hard for the person to send the letter, and if they did, I think they must have thought very hard about exactly what to say. Iwanako managed to write this letter and bring a final close to the relationship that never existed. Something that I never managed to. I mean, there was never an information of Hisao saying or answering her feelings, right? It was just, she confessed, you got a heart attack, ended in hospital, she visited you a few times. But there was never information of you two getting together. So, I would say, if anything, you could call it friendship, kind of. I don't know. I will stick still to the belief that that wasn't an actual boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. Anyway, whereas here I am trying to protect and help Hanako as best I can, especially with Lee leaving for a while, and I'm not even able to deal with my own problems. Does that make sense? She's taken my response and furrowbrow as doubt. She really reads faces too much, just like a certain other person. Yeah, that makes sense. That was just kind of a shock, really. I think I tried to fool myself into thinking that my life reset when I came to Yamaku, but now I'm suddenly aware that it didn't. I'm at a bit of a loss about how to deal with his feelings. I think that's something I can't really help you with. Sorry. It's fine. I think being able to talk with you helped me get things sorted out a bit better in my head. So, thank you anyway. She nods and smiles sweetly. Yuko is a nice girl, so it's a shame she's so highly strung so often. The school bell ringing now starts us both. I was supposed to be back before the bell. Whoops. She jumps off the bench and almost races off of the second ward, but turns on her heel as she remembers who was talking to me just now. Oh, I'll see you later, Hisao. Cheer up, okay? I'll try. Thanks, Yuko. With a quick bow, Yuko takes her leave and begins her rush to the library. Her flight catches the curious eyes of a few passing students who are unenthusiastically trudging back to their classes after their fun. Reluctantly standing from the bench, I dust myself off and join them. Even when I walk through the gardens back to the main building, the thought of the letter in my bag doesn't stray far from my mind. The feeling of walking through the streets is one of very deep nostalgia. While Yamaku may be like the reverse of where I've lived in the past, the city at night is amazingly familiar. My eyes are moving constantly from the bright electronic screens glowing high in the night sky, to the street lamps piercing the darkness with their light, to the businessmen enjoying themselves after work, and the busy talking couples on dates. Even if I didn't want to, I can't help soaking in every aspect of the city. I savor its familiarity like a sweet candy sitting on my tongue. Lee is walking to my left, with her cane swaying to and fro, holding onto her sister's arm for guidance while talking to her. Compared to traveling by taxi or bus, being driven by Kira in her rather nice car was a much more enjoyable experience. Lancer, right? I think. I don't remember actually. Maybe that's for the person I ride for. While Lily was used to her sister's driving style and I quite liked a bit of excitement, Hanako was holding very tight to the door for most of the trip. Everything looks so pretty at night. Hanako quickly looks down the air again as she accidentally catches someone's gaze. Yeah, it does. Hanako included. My answer isn't very thoughtful since I'm distracted by so many thoughts that I find it hard to keep up on small talk. One of those distractions, aside from the city side, is how Hanako looks. This is the first time I've seen her in something other than her school uniform or her pajamas. It gave me pause when I first saw her outfit, when we met up at the school gate. Considering how much her head is lowered when people walk near us, I imagine that the hat she wears is more than a fashion statement. While initially I was wary of Lily's plan to take us out into the city, when night fell, it became obvious that she had thought about this. Not many people have paid Hanako much heed, since the darkness hides her scaring well. So, we are in the city. Any ideas on what to do? Akira beams a smile. Something tells me that she is the one who is making the particular decision, even if her sister may have proposed the outing in the first place. You'll see. Just follow us. I nod and try my best to stifle a grimace. After what happened during Hanako's birthday party, I don't trust Akira's judgment all that much. Why not? We keep walking, and notice that we're passing more and more cafes, restaurants, and other eateries. Every once in a while, a drunken man in a suit comes out of a bar, usually being supported by another. But for the most part, the customers around this part of the city look young and fashionable. I don't know, man. I kind of am interested in the, like... Oh, we can hear the music already. In the drinking culture of Japan. Different kinds of music come and go as we pass by each business. The discord created by the overlaps should be grating, but it reminds me strongly of the times I spent in the city with my old friends that I don't mind. Hanako and I have started to drift a little apart from Lily and Akira. That comes to a stop when I hear a soft toot from beside me. Sorry. By the time she rights herself from the apologetic bow, the middle-aged businessman she bumped into is walking away after mumbling a half-hearted apology. Hanako looks a little put off by the experience, and as she quickly skips ahead to match my pace, I notice her hair hanging low once more. She probably bumped into me because she was looking downwards and not where she was going. I stepped aside and put one hand on her far shoulder, drawing her closer. Hisao. It's okay. You can walk closer to me if you want. Hanako hesitates, but eventually nods in assent. After a couple of times when I thought we had arrived at Akira's destination, we reach our target. By now, we are below the elevated walkways and past the most garish and brightly lit place. You know what this music wants me to actually replay on my own? I believe it was I don't remember if it was a Polish game or not, but I had it on some CD from some gaming newspaper back in the day. What I would actually want to play is Jack Orlando. I don't know why. The music of it just reminded me for some reason of this game right now. Like, you know, random thought. Completely random. I think I have it actually on Steam as well. Yeah, I do. And oh, it has a... I have a soundtrack as... Wait, I have a soundtrack of it? Music, games. No, it's not here. Do I have over here on the second where I'm supposed to check still? I mean, I haven't played it in ages, to be honest. I don't. Huh. I need to download it then. I remember the soundtrack being so good, rather good actually. Anyway, back to Katawa Shoujo. Did I read this? Oh, no. Yeah, I think so. I'm a bit surprised. The average age of those around us is distinctly older, and the smell of cigarette smoke is pretty thick. The air is far from CD4, and it's a little amusing to see Lily's reaction to the smell of the smoke. While it's masked by the low talking of those around us, jazz music can be heard emanating from inside. Looking up at the dimly lit sign, it becomes obvious why. A jazz club. I have to admit, this isn't what I expected. Lee gives an amused snort and a smile. Somehow I feel like I should have known it, Akira. As we talk outside, I notice more and more odd sideways glances directed our way. People awkwardly catch themselves staring and look away, but that just makes it more obvious. I had noticed this occasionally when we were walking, but it's more pronounced now. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. An average-looking Japanese teenage guy, just a little taller than normal, isn't able to draw attention without making an effort.
Hey, come on! Just because you're a teenager doesn't mean you can have taste, right?
Oh, well, I don't really mind the music, if that's what you mean. Jazz is nice, especially if you want to relax. Oh, jazz is what hits the spot then.
I don't mind it either.
She's only just managing to force the words out. Especially the jazz like we hear right now, by the way. But yeah, it contrasts heavily to when we're alone in Yamaku, and it disappoints me a little that she's so highly strung for what's supposed to be a good time out in the town. It's hard to read Hanako's face as she keeps looking downwards. It's a wonder if she doesn't often come out in the city because of this, and it makes me a little thankful that my own scaring is easily hidden. Mine is too. For about mine, I don't really care. After, appendix stuff, I have some on hands as well, but yeah, that's thanks to work. Lee has similar way of tracking people's gazes, but the reason for it is clearly different. She hardly looks like a native, and at the same can be said for her sister. That much is far more noticeable than her blindness from a distance. She may not be able to see this for herself, but I have a little up she can hear the odd whispered phrase from people who think they are out of the earshot. Be that as it may, she doesn't seem to show any sign of either annoyance or pleasure at the attention. Akira is still as confident as ever, for, flashing a smile, she strides in with Lily by her side and the two of us following behind. I had expected my eyes to need adjusting to the light inside, but it's not much brighter than outside. The music we heard is clearer now, mixed in with the sound of glasses moving on the tables and kanta and the husky chatter of the patrons. Looking to my right reveals the music's source, a jazz group playing beyond some tables. The patrons seem to be mostly men, and for this handful of women nobody looks under 30 aside from us. It feels a little like we've stepped in the 1920s. And the atmosphere is quite agreeable. I'm not completely comfortable simply because of my age, but were I older, I would probably feel quiet at home. Hanako seems a bit more relaxed now, probably due to nobody looking at her. Everybody's talking between themselves, drinking, or watching the band. Akira casually takes a seat at the counter without even glancing around. She's probably come here before. Lee retracts her cane, filling out the bar stool at the edge of the counter before taking a seat beside her sister. The bartender takes a brief break from polishing glass to watch her before putting it down and coming over.
Good evening, ladies. What will it be?
Just a scotch, thanks, lady.
May I have those glass? Black suit elbow hits her side sharply.
Orange juice, please.
No problem. Coming right up.
The bartender starts to pour their drinks. A couple seconds pass before Akira suddenly remembers that Hanako and I are indeed here, and turns around to us.
You two want anything, or are just gonna stand there?
Hanako seems to be getting a bit restless. No matter where we're going to seat ourselves, there is going to be people right next to her, and I don't think she looks convincingly older than 20. Unlike Lily, who also doesn't look older than 20. Looking around, there is game section to our right. A couple of billiard tables can be seen in the corner, and nobody's using them either. I glance to Hanako about to ask if she'd like to play, but she's already looking longingly in the same direction. Maybe it says something that we can get by with so few words nowadays. We'll go play pool over there. Akira leans back to see past me, before shrugging and sitting back up.
It seems you'll have to put up with only me for company. How unfortunate. Have fun, you two.
We turn and set off for the abandoned corner, with Hanako taking the lead. The prospect of a nice quiet game away from everyone makes her walk noticeably faster. Her eyes stay firmly fixed on her prize. The table is a full size and well lit despite the surrounding darkness. Thanks to the bright overhead lights, a huge painting of something covers the wall. There aren't many people milling about this corner of the club, and I can see Hanako becoming a little less tense as a result.
You know how to play?
I'm no expert, but I do. I like this outfit.
Then, 8-ball?
Sure. Snooker. Hanako gets the chalk and 2 cues from a set of hooks against one of the walls, while I fetch the balls from the table's pockets and grab the rack from a shelf underneath. She patiently waits as I get the table set up. After slotting the final ball into the rack and doing some last adjustments, I end up having to fight my perfectionist urges in getting the bottom row of bottle balls exactly perpendicular with the edges. With the balls arranged and ready for play, I step back and take my cue from her outstretched arm. I carry out a quick inspection of it before I satisfy that it's in a good condition. So, you've played before?
Once or twice. I just kind of know the rules.
The air between us feels a little awkward. She's still pretty nervous, understandably, given that we're in public. Eventually the silence becomes too much even for Hanako, and she begins to quietly stammer.
Will break.
I think for a moment before reaching my pocket and drawing a coin. I'll take heads, your tails? After a note of agreement from Hanako, I flick the coin up in the air, catch it and flip it over onto the back of my left hand. Looks like it's you that gets to break. Hanako nods again before taking up her position at the end of the table. I freaking love this CG by the exactly this one. She's not usually this quiet around me, but I'm not wholly sure if it's because of the tidbit of information about her past that slipped out moments ago. The cue comes back in a practice gesture before smacking that into the center of the cue ball with a tooth. The white ball skates across the smooth green expanse before smashing into the carefully arranged balls at the other end. Balls skitter across the table at high speed. The break was good, with the balls being nicely distributed around the table. My eyes are already flicking from one to the other to pick out the easiest candidates to pocket. Hanako retreats from the side and I take my shot.
Well done, well done, well done.
It's only after Hanako says this that I realize the ball I was shooting at was sunk. I look at her and notice a small smile on her face. It's nice how playing games seems to loosen her up a little. Guess I'm stripes then. I take a step back and let her take the next shot, but she doesn't advance to the table. Rather, she looks down and drops her arm. By now I can identify that as one of her gestures that mean she wants to say something, but isn't sure enough herself to do it. What's up?
It's just, you had a nice smile. Do you like playing this?
I sigh and lean back against the table. I liked playing, yeah. I think I would smile because it's really nostalgic for. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. Me and my friends used to play pool in the game center as near where we lived pretty often at night too.
What did your parents?
They both worked, so they didn't mind me not being in the house. I stayed on top of schoolwork pretty easily as well, so there was plenty of time to do other stuff at night. Our conversation dies down, with Hanako's timely getting the better of her. In response, I get off the table and let her take her turn shooting. There aren't many solids in easy positions, so Hanako bends down, takes a while to line herself up properly. Hanako's expression is the same as when we played chess. A relaxed but focused concentration. Athletes sometimes talk about getting in a zone where nothing unnecessary enters their mind, and I wonder if that's something she can do. Her posture is good, better than mine, to be sure. It's very close to a textbook method of playing, whereas I tend to contort myself into whatever position I feel is most natural for the shot I'm taking. I can't play pool. She lines up the cue comes back, and she does a couple of practice movements to make sure she's lined up correctly. Hanako takes games so seriously. It's the only real hobby I know she has, outside of reading. It feels good to be able to share this kind of experience with her. She takes the shot after careful consideration, and the cue ball zooms off towards the ball sitting at a slightly awkward angle near a corner. Hanako's careful preparation pays off as the cue ball hits and sends the ball rolling towards the corner pocket. For a moment, it looks like it will stop just on the lip of the hole, but it eventually tilts just enough to drop it. And drop it. Man, that was a hard shot. If you can pull that off, I don't think I have much hope.
I'm not that good.
It's not just a thought fall. Even when lining it up, you look really serious. You're like this with chess too. The praise makes her a little flustered. She sets the cue against the table and stands turning to me.
I just like those kinds of things.
Her fingers are twisting and turning tightly, sorry.
When I was in the orphanage, I just kept doing the things I liked before. If I played games with the others, that was enough for the helpers there, so...
I'd never thought about that way. Staff at an orphanage would naturally want to have everyone socialize, at least a little. If it's okay for me to ask, what was it like for you at the orphanage?
Why do you want to know?
I touched the nerve, but the fact that she responded at all shows there's at least a chance she will answer my question, before she likely would just have shrunk away from it without a word.
I'll tell you, but...
But...
Could you tell me who Hanako is?
Oh, the letter. I wonder how long she's been waiting for the right opportunity to ask me this. I'm surprised, but don't hesitate. Sharing information is naturally a matter of give and take. She's someone I used to like. Her nervousness subsided, at least for the time it took to ask. Her curiosity is getting the better of her, and I feel a bit uncomfortable to be questioned on this of all the matters. Dude, it's nothing to be really uncomfortable about, to be fair. Anyway, there is no way I could spill out all my feelings about Hanako here. I don't even know myself what my feelings regarding her are, even after talking to Yuko earlier, and I want to avoid the subject around Hanako. Hanako doesn't look overly satisfied with the awkward ending to the discussion, but thinks better of continuing it. She was only just managed to ask me in the first place, without knowing that I wouldn't want to talk about it. I moved to finally take my own shot. The lack of talking between us is filled by the chatter of other patrons and the band at the other end of the club. Spying a shot that doesn't look too difficult. I try and shoot for it. The cue ball taps the ball and the trajectory is about right, but I put too much power. It grazes the corner of the hall and moves off to the side, just skirting the pocket. Happens. I grit my teeth a little. I was pretty good at this game, and it's frustrating to have deteriorated so much. I step back and let Hanako take her turn, glancing towards the counter where Lily and Akira are sitting. They are talking busily between themselves and seem to be having a good time. I turn back to Hanako. She takes her shot. With the same face as before, she lines herself up and sharply pushes the cue. Just as before, she sinks the ball she was aiming for. It drops to the side pocket, more cleanly than her last fall. It looks as she's getting a bit more into the groove of the game. Nicely done. She hesitates for a moment and begins to address me without turning her head.
The orphanage was nice. It felt a bit like...
I didn't want to click, sorry.
It felt a bit like Yamaku does, and his staff was really kind. But as the years went on, I realized something. I was different.
It feels strange to hear her speak so candidly about herself. She's oddly forcing the words out. It reminds me of when she insisted she tell me about the fire. Hanako must feel that she has to tell me such things, if I'm willing to tell her about my own past. Her grip on the cue tightens as she continues to speak.
Most of the children there were up for adoption, just like I was. But like me, they gradually left, one by one. By the time I went to Yamaku, I was among the oldest children there. For a while, I helped with some of the younger children, but eventually...
I lay her hand on her shoulder. She's forcing herself by now.
It's okay.
She looks mildly surprised for a moment, but then nods before setting down her cue and turning towards me.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, I think so. Even when he's away, I'll be around to protect you, right? Hanako looks at me for a long time, and I'm taking a bit of a guard. Her expression has changed from before, still looking somewhat maudlin, and silences between us aren't usual. I think it's the fact that she's holding such a prolonged eye contact that makes this feel a bit odd. It feels as she's judging me. It's a very strange, vaguely uncomfortable feeling. Hanako?
I understand. Thank you.
She smiles and looks away a little, but it feels stilted. Hanako isn't very good at faking emotions, and this is no except. Yeah, someone who completely has no control over his emotions, man, is speaking something like that. And this is no exception. Okay, Hisao just can't lie at all, okay? Even if, even if you could say the truth while still not revealing the truth. I move to the table and take my turn to try and distract myself. But it doesn't seem to work. Does she think I'm not up to the task of helping her? Is she disappointed in me? I probably overthink this, while her silence are just an accepted fact of life by now. Sometimes I do wish she'd speak more. With that, I send the white sphere careening down the table into my target. Hanako sees what's happening just as I do. The ball hits hard. With the strike ball, I intend to sink veering off towards the 8 ball. Sure enough, as both Hanako and I look on and bite our lips, they connect and the black ball rolls leisurely into a corner pocket. It's a game over for me. All I can do is sign. It looks like Hanako's smiling again, so maybe it wasn't for naught. That was an awful shot. You win. It seems I'm getting pretty rusty after all this time. Hanako bends down and begins to shoot the remaining balls in the closest pockets. I almost asked if we could play another game, but a quick check of my watch confirms that the night is getting pretty late. 15 minutes to 3 PM. Okay, let's say it's 3 AM over there for them for some reason. Which is kinda weird, because they played only one round, right? I wouldn't say they spent a lot of time there. Lee and Akira appear to be still drinking at the counter. Seems like we'll have to drag them away.
Hisao?
I turn back to Hanako, still looking over the pool table shooting balls. Her voice sounds different from before.
I'm here for you as well. And my heart started beating faster.
I still find myself blushing. It's unnatural that she'd respond this way, given what I said earlier, but it's still a shock to actually hear it. Just what is my relationship with this girl? I want to protect her, to make her happy. I'm not really sure that it's something like love, but I don't think these are the same kinds of feelings I have for Lily either.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for her. Having gone through so much in her life, her parents died in a house fire, and she lived in an orphanage for much of her childhood. I can't even imagine that kind of life. But I feel like there is so much I can do for her, especially now that Lee is going to be leaving the country. Hanako and I finish tying up the table and cues, and pick up Lee and Akira on our way out of the club. It feels like something changed between Hanako and me. I can't quite place what it is, but Hanako is acting differently now. I feel like we're further apart, if anything.
What? So, you enjoy yourselves?
Hanako and I both nod and agree. The game was good, and we both did learn more about each other, so it's an honest answer. Maybe appears to be a little distracted. Worried about the trip, Lily? She paused before sighing and smiling quickly.
A little. It means quite a bit.
The comment earns her a clap on the shoulder from sister. Hanako smiles back too.
You'll be okay, Lily. I hope you can enjoy your time over there. Thank you, Hanako. I'll try to. It would be nice to be back with my family after all, no matter how brief a time it may be.
With that, the four of us begin to walk to the car park where Akira's car is. We continue to talk between ourselves, but it's mostly just small talk. Okay, let's end it here. We'll of course continue tomorrow, which means I will record today, because I can't record Kaleido Stella today. Anyway, hope to see you in the next one as well, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.